What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up?
What's going on? So we just riding over here, the dynamic duel yet again. So, it's been a crazy couple weeks. We've had back-to-back hurricanes, we got family vacations, all the above. But also, it's been a very good ratings, I guess you would say. Not really ratings, but downloads a couple weeks. Like, you guys have really been downloading and listening to us. Like, maybe because you are also impacted by, crazy weather. So, greatly appreciate that. I don't know what's going on, but our numbers are up. Please keep them that way. Hit us up by all the websites that go by our name, or social medias that go by our name, the Other Side of the Firewall, the Other Side of the FW, or Ask the CISSP, and all that good stuff. But without further ado, because this is the non-cyber, I always forget to say it, this is the non-cyber related episode. We just talk about all types of stuff. But Shannon, how was your week? Or
couple weeks, yeah, it wasn't that bad, man. Still watching some television shows out there. So the Dr. Odyssey, I know I'd mentioned that before.
Yeah, you still watching it?
I might not be for too much longer. It's not so much House on the High Seas like I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, I don't know. It's very formulaic to what network TV is, right?
Right.
But we'll see. Like, I don't care about the love stories and the betrayals and the, two guys fighting over the same woman type stuff. I'm like, I don't care, man. Like,
has anybody gotten scurvy on the ship?
No, what you would expect, right? None of them are pirates. Nobody's a pirate, right? So they're all taking in their citrus. It's okay.
Gotcha.
but they're citrus fruits. Because that's the cure for scurvy, right? Is that right? I could be wrong on that.
It is. Yeah. I think it was like they started carrying limes on the ship or something like that. That's how they got around it. So you get scurvy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to say it's a lack of vitamin C, right?
I don't
citrus?
remember.
I think it's vitamin
C. So
C
is prominent.
Yeah, because D is sunlight.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were getting plenty of sunlight on the high seas. They weren't getting plenty of citrus.
That fruit wasn't lasting too long. That citrus fruit, but
right.
It's I don't know, man. I might be done with it. I think I'm 3 episodes in, maybe 4. I can't even remember. I say that, but the wife likes it, so whatever the home boss says is what ends up happening, right? So like if she wants to watch it, I'll be like, all right, I'll watch it. It's whatever. But you usually can tell when I'm not into it anymore, and it's like, all right, well, this is what it is. But the other one I'm watching that I do like though is called High Potential. And what it is, so any of you It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans out there, Sweet D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is a great show, by the way, but it is not for children, and it is very much not PC. So if you ever off my recommendation, if you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like the first episode, if you don't like that, do not keep watching. Right? It only gets worse from there.
Yeah, they baptize you pretty quick.
Yeah. The first episode is called The Gang Gets Racist. So like I'm like, oh, that's a bit much, but yeah, it's out there. But one of the female main character on there though, she is in this one, and what it is she's a single mom. I shouldn't say she's a single mom. She has a good relationship with their children's father, but she has a high IQ. She has a high IQ of like 160 or something like that. Like she sees things, she remembers everything she reads. What's that? Eidetic memory? Everything you see and hear, you remember, right?
I think
is that right? Eidetic. So like she's very good at like solving crimes and things of that nature. So, but she's funny, right? So she doesn't know how to be a police officer. So she's in there taking evidence home. Like she's doing all types of stuff. It's just like, you can't do that. Like she leaves a note where the evidence box was. It's like working from home or something like that. It said, so they come to her house like, you can't do this.
I kind of want to watch that. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But yeah, it's an interesting concept. It's actually based off I think it was a French TV show. It was called High Intellectual Individual or something like that, like HII or HPI, High Potential Individual or something like that.
So I don't know any French, but every time I hear something that's translated from French, they are very literal. They do not play. Like whatever they say is what they said. There's not a lot of
wordplay, like trying to.
Yeah, like it translates very literal. I like it.
I don't know.
Very blunt.
I've never paid attention to that. I've never paid attention to that. I think it's HPI. I think that's what it is. It says based off, I can't remember if it was a novel or TV series, HPI. I think it was another TV series, High Potential Individual or something like that. But High Potential is what it's called. But it's a good show. That one is worth a watch if you guys are not. It's 4 episodes in right now. So I know you like to wait till the whole season's over before you get down. You know what I mean?
I
So
do, I do, I
um,
do.
but that's a good one on Hulu. What else were we watching? Oh, the wife and I started watching this documentary called Chimp Crazy. So it's about this, yeah, it's about this sanctuary in Missouri, about how they were like selling chimpanzees. So like when you see like these chimpanzees in movies and stuff like that, a lot of them were coming from this place. Like they were hired on from this place. But this lady, she started to volunteer at the place. So it was like once a week, and then it was like she started living up there and whatnot. But she is PETA went after them, right? Because PETA is one to do when they see you abusing animals, right? Whether it be SeaWorld, you know what I mean, Barnum and Bailey, the circus people, but they went after them, and it's documenting her fight against PETA to try to get these chimpanzees put elsewhere, right? Like instead of because they weren't. I mean, they were in enclosures, and there was a couple of them that were friendly, but there's some like chimpanzees are strong. Like I don't know if you guys remember an attack from some years ago where that guy was ripping
Snatch your
that
face
lady's
off.
face off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll snatch your face off, bite your fingers, all that. But they actually kind of go into that in one of the episodes. It's a 4-part series, and we've gotten through 2 of them. But they actually go into that because the police officer that responded to the scene had knew the chimpanzee. Like he would play with them and whatnot, and he's like as he's retelling the story. It's not funny because this one was seriously hurt. But as he's telling the story, he was like, came over to my side of the police car. He said, and he just ripped the doors off, ripped the door off the police car. I was like,
Yeah, wow.
what? Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, what? And he said he's sitting there with his gun, and he hesitated for a little bit, and even the lady that was the owner of the chimpanzee, like you can hear her because they're playing the 911 audio. She's in the background saying, "Shoot him! like shoot him! You got to kill him! He's killing my friend! You got to shoot him!" And she'd had this chimpanzee for years. Like this is supposedly part of the family, right? She's
But it
like, "Shoot him!"
just snapped.
Yeah, but like the guy was like, he said he growled a little bit. He put his arms up like he was going to come at me. And you could hear it as they're playing the 911 call. You could hear the shots ring out. And the thing is, that didn't even kill him. Like he ran into the house and went to his enclosure before he died. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
like he took 4 shots point blank and was just like, let me go lay down. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a real G right there. You know what I'm saying? Like a real Z, a real chimpanzee. You know what I mean? Like, just walked it off for a little bit. Yeah, chimp crazy.
I would have nightmares for the rest of my life if it ripped the door off. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
and
I
they're
wouldn't be right forever.
yeah, and they're showing like crime scene photo or like the photos from the scene and whatnot, and like the door is gone from the police cruiser, like it is
Yo,
not open,
that's
like it's
crazy.
gone. I'm like, yo, that's wild, man. Blood everywhere. But yeah, so this lady, this other lady that the documentary is on, and it's funny because the only reason I found out about it is because Saturday Night Live did a skit on it that I happened to catch about this lady, and she was it's crazy because she was breastfeeding a monkey, and I was like, "What is this?" Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot we're also audio. I made a face.
So when I
If
saw the skit, I was like, "What's going on?" But that actually, like, when you watch the first episode of the documentary, yeah, there was a lady that actually did that because there was a chimpanzee that was born premature, and she breastfed it to get it healthy. She had a baby too, so she had the baby and she had a
right,
chimpanzee,
right. I
and
was
I'm
gonna say
like,
that's the only way that works, right?
yeah, yeah. I was just like, wow. But yeah, the name of it is Chimp Crazy, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that. So I can only imagine where episode 3 and 4 are gonna go. But the
Right.
wife, I can't. The wife was watched both of them with me. Like she came down for a second when I turned it on, and was like, no, I gotta go upstairs and do this. But we watched 2 full episodes, and she was like, all right, let me get to doing what I need to do. But it's it's captivating to me because I'm like, man, there are things that are weird to everyone, right? But I kind of think this is universal, that this is weird to people. Because the thing is, the person that got PETA involved was somebody that was a volunteer there that was like, this is not normal. Like the conditions they're in, some of the things that are going on is just not normal. So they were notified by someone who was a whistleblower, pretty much,
Yeah.
that volunteered at the sanctuary in Missouri.
I might check it out because I did watch Tiger King. So I mean,
It's the same director. It's the same director.
was it okay?
So
Yeah, I did watch Tiger King.
So check this out. It's the same director, but he had to use a proxy director because he was known for Tiger King, and they didn't want to talk to him. They were like, "No,
Right.
no, no. We saw what you did to the Tiger King. Like, we're not talking to you." So he sent in a proxy director who was this guy that actually worked in the circus. He went to clown college, I guess you could call it, clown school. Was arrested for selling clown university. Yeah, I'm sorry, university. Yeah, but was arrested for dealing exotic animals and stuff. So he had they sympathized more with him, and they were like, "Yeah, you're one in the community. You kind of know what we're going through." But he was a proxy director for this other Tiger King guy, so they were like, "Yeah, it's weird, man." But I do want to finish it and see what's going on with that. But again, I can't watch it without the wife at this point now, right? Because it started the first 2 episodes. So if she sees me watching it without her, she'll be like, "What are you doing? You know I'm down for this." So that one is on Max though. That one's on
Yes, that's what streaming service.
That one's Max for Chimp Crazy. But yeah, I'd seen, actually it was the first episode of Saturday Night Live's season. The lady on there was acting out the scene, and I was just like, wow, okay. But what else did I watch? Man, I haven't gotten back to The Penguin. I watched the first 2 episodes.
So I've
People
checked
are
it out
telling
yet.
me it's good. Yeah, people are telling me it's good, but I'm like, I don't know. I might get some in the night. We'll see. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been watching. But what about you, man? I know you've had an adventurous 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I guess it would be so I've been through hurricanes before, but this one, so a once in a lifetime event, like hopefully, because I think it's been 103 years since Tampa was punched directly in the face by a hurricane. So Helene blew in that night. It felt regular, and we're pretty far inland, so I didn't have to evacuate. I'm not in a flood zone. There's no real water or bodies of water near me. I'm pretty much in a really good spot, Central Florida, right? And then that night, yeah, took our power out. So I think our power station was like flooded or something like that. And we've lost power once before for like a couple hours, but this was 3 days. So luckily, I had some really good friends. They let us borrow a spare generator. So day 2 to almost 3 is when I got the generator and found some gas because we had gas shortages because that's just what happens in this type of situation. And I was able to charge the kids' electronics, stuff like that. So uh, don't like so no property damage, nothing like that. Like the only thing we lost was a refrigerator full of food. But if that's the worst of it, then I'm very happy about that. And then I had to spend a lot of time with the kids because they didn't have electronics, right? So no distractions. So we were sitting around chatting in the dark, candles, flashlights. So it was good. We made the best out of it. Got a lot of really good family time because of it. Um, and then when power came back up, got internet back, all that good stuff. And that third day, I wound up going get more gas, right? I got to another gas line, got some more gas, and I filled the generator to the tippy top. And an hour later, power came on. I was like, you got me. Um, so I had to basically waste gas. I had to run it dry, and then yeah. So we lucked out, and there's some more stuff bubbling up in the Atlantic. Hopefully, it misses us by 10,000 miles. But yeah, that's my first, I guess, like real, because I was here for Irma, I was here for a few others, but yeah, that Helene left her mark. Like there's trees
Well,
everywhere.
that was Milton, wasn't it? Helene was the first one.
I'm sorry, yeah, Milton, yeah. Milton left his.
So Helene was not as bad for you because you were still able to vacation a little bit, right? So
Yeah, I was
yeah,
at Disney for Helene. Yeah, we were like, we're a little bit on the fence. We're like, okay, like, do we need to rebook or whatever? And when we contacted Disney, Disney was like, we're not shutting down. we'll we'll see you here. Have a magical time. So we
but they
showed
did
up.
shut down for Milton, right? They did shut down for Milton. Like
I think
I
they,
think somebody told me. So that's only like the 8th time. Because when I was talking to you, you were like, "Yeah,
it
it's
was
only been
seven.
7 times since
Yeah,
Disney's been open." I was like, "Only 7?" I was like, "This hurricane season every year in Florida." Like they're like they got a great location, but yeah,
they do.
Milton.
He picked Walt picked the best part of the swamp. I'm sure they have a weather machine, right? Like they they got a weather dome because I've never been bit by a mosquito at Disney. I don't know how they do it.
Look, man, this is how misinformation starts. Don't go down this road. Somebody's gonna
Right.
somebody's gonna be like, "I heard it. I heard it on a podcast.
Yeah.
It's everywhere." And
And
you're
then
like, "Oh no."
yeah. Like you know why birds aren't real? I've never seen a bird at Disney. But yeah, so yeah, we had a good time. Like the weather was perfect and things because like the storm brings with it in this case cooler weather. So yeah, we had a great time at Disney. It only got rained on like maybe once, but my wife packed ponchos and stuff like that. So she had everything planned out. But yeah, we went to Disney for Helene, not on purpose, but like it was booked. So Helene decided to show up at the same time. But yeah, Milton did some damage. Like Milton peeled paint off of speed limit signs in my neighborhood. Yeah, it's crazy. I saw it the first time and I was like, because it's a pretty fairly new community. So I drove past a speed limit sign and it was missing like half its paint. And I was like, that's weird. It must have been just badly built, right? And then as I kept driving, more and more like stop signs are missing letters, and I'm just like, yo, that's some strong wind to peel letters off of street signs.
Well,
The ones that did knock down.
it could have been debris too, man. So it's a good thing you
Yeah,
were
like
in the
scraping up against
house.
it.
You were in the house and like you didn't get any damage to your house to where you know what I mean? Because like that's what you have to worry about when you're in a hurricane with those strong winds like that. It's like stuff just becomes missiles and just projectiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like my wife's car has some scuffs on it because of it, like some scratches. You can tell like shingles hit it. Uh, so we filed a claim. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that was the worst of it. Like legitimately, we're really blessed, and the because of the weather pattern it brought in with it, it brought in cool weather. So it's actually cold here to us, right? Florida cold. You wake up at 60 something degrees. You're like, woo, it's chilly. So I got the hoodie on. It's still a little nippy for us. It's the days start out in the high 50s and they end in the mid 80s. But yeah, again, we're truly blessed. Some people has had some really rough times. People still have some really rough times. So hopefully we're spared for the rest of the season so people can get their lives back together. Because we went to a pumpkin patch yesterday, and as we're driving, everything is cool except for like obviously trees. There was a humongous tree. Like this tree had to be hundreds of years old. Like this tree was bigger than the house that it fell next to. It had it fallen on the house, it would have destroyed it. It fell to the side of the house. But I've never seen a tree that big ever because it's all farmland going north direction where we're going. But then we got to one farm and like everything was just dry and regular, just toppled trees here and there. And like this one farm was just underwater. I'm just like, where's the body of water that got you? You know what I mean? Like everyone else is fine, but you guys are like, the water was because the land was recessed. So like the road was above the land and the water came up to the road. So like, yeah, I was like, yo, that would be terrible. Like all of my neighbors are fine, but I got flooded. So
you
it's
know
like,
it's weird, right? So like when Keesler, so where we went to school for comm,
yeah,
right? Keesler Air Force Base. When Katrina came through with the flooding, I thought it was coming from the front of the base where the ocean was. But they were like,
yeah,
no, it was the marina that flooded in the back and came forward. I was like, yeah, I was like, that's even worse. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because the BX and the commissary was fairly new, maybe a year and a half. And that happened. And it's the same thing. Like it's sitting down in a recessed, like kind of bowl from the road. So it was the lowest point when that marina flooded from the back and it came up. So that new commissary BX flooded. Like it was crazy. I went there for what was the course I did? I think it was exchange. I think I went there for an
okay,
exchange course or something like a year later. And in the lodging there, you could see the water line for where the water got up to, and that lodging is at the front of the base, right? So it flooded from the
right,
back all the way to the front. It was just, I was just like, this would have been awful to be here because they didn't let students go. Like, because there was people
right,
that were stationed at Eglin, where I was at the time. They wouldn't even let them come home, and it's 2 hours drive, right? And they were like, no, you got to stay here. And so they kept them in the buildings and whatnot. And then they were part of the cleanup effort, right? It's one of those things where it's like,
right,
okay,
right.
now we need your services, to assist here, which is probably the main goal, right? It makes sense, right?
Yeah,
You're already paying us, right? So just let us clean up some stuff too. But yeah, it flooded from the back where the marina was, man. It was not
crazy.
supposed
Because
to.
I was there for Ivan, so I went there for Ivan for I didn't go there for Ivan. I went there for MCE training, so like modular control equipment training
Yeah.
for the TAOM, the Tactical Air Operations Module.
Yeah.
Man, how do I still remember all that stuff? It's crazy. But when Ivan hit, they wouldn't let us leave either. So like permanent party, they let leave. So like, but we were on student status while we were there, so we had to stay for Ivan. It wasn't bad. I watched like half of a Lord of the Rings movie. But yeah, the next morning they were like, "All right, time to go outside, fog walk,"
Yeah.
and walked around the base cleaning up.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is that Ivan delayed my cross training. So I was stationed at Eglin when Ivan came through because Eglin got hit as well, and so I was on a cruise. Got back. It was crazy because on that cruise, Aruba was supposed to be the last stop, but we couldn't go because of the path that it took. We couldn't go to Aruba, so some people were really upset. I'm like, look, they're going to make it up to us. We're going somewhere else. I can't remember if it was Dominica or something. We went somewhere else. But so when I got back, there was a stop move order. Like you couldn't go anywhere, right? So like my first day of class, they were like, no, you can't leave. I was like, well, I got a class date. Like I'm packed up and everything, right? So they made some calls, made it work, and they were like, okay, you can go. So I was a day late reporting to school.
Gotcha.
Over there, right? So like, but when I went, like we weren't doing any cleanup effort or anything like that. Like when I went 2 days later or something like that, whatever it was, like I jumped right into class. The only thing that got changed was I ended up doing the swing shift for the class. So it was the night shift for class for us. So I had to change that up. But yeah, it was that was, man, we were there at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just what I mean?
I was that A1C or Senior Irvin Williams? It was A1C. A1C Williams was out there picking up sticks outside Bryan Hall.
Yeah.
That was my job.
No, we were going to school. Thompson Hall was what it was, and it was fairly new actually. They had just built the building. Yeah, look, we could have seen each other like before we were stationed together, not even knowing. Small Air Force, right? Like that's how that could have happened. But yeah, that was 2004, September 2004 when that was. So
yeah, very true. I just gotten out, and then they sent me back. They're like, by the way, that's because we saw the Teoms, and we also had the phone exchange, and all that stuff was like these are not used by the Air Force regularly anymore. So we're taking all out of your curriculum. And I show up, and the base I show up to, that's my job, is the phone switch and the Teom. So they're like, guess what? You're going back to I think it was like 2 months of training. But small world. But yeah, I'm hoping storm season is over. Like I don't feel like doing this no more. Yeah. Like it was fast forward to 2025, please. To the point where it's just like, do we need to move? I'm not gonna move, but I was like, do we need to move? Move somewhere like Texas?
But even where you are, like you don't experience it as severe, right? Like you're not as close to the coast as some of those other people, right? So like Chris is a little bit closer to where his
he's on the water.
Yeah, his was a little bit probably worse for him because he was describing some of the stuff he went through, and I'm like, man, like I don't know.
Yeah, everybody wants to live by the water, right? It's pretty, but it's crazy out there, especially during these storms and things of that nature. So I don't know, you're gambling because like Bayshore is beautiful. Like Bayshore leads you to McDill. And McDill's a gorgeous space as well, right? But Bayshore to Davis Island, all that stuff flooded. So like Jeter's house, all that stuff, like it's not worth it. But $1 million homes right there on the water. You gotta pick your poison. I guess you're gambling at that point, but it is what it is. What else did I do? So got through the hurricane, did all that stuff. Got my phone, so I'm proud owner of the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's snappier, but I'm biased. I'm coming from a 12, so I'm coming from a 12 Pro that was on its last leg to a 16, and it moves a lot faster. It's a lot snappier. Obviously, I got the Apple Intelligence thing happening, which you have to put yourself on a wait list. You have to go through the settings. You have to opt into the beta, and then you have to opt into a wait list, which is automatic almost. Like an hour later, like, congratulations, you now have Apple Intelligence. You start downloading it. She is a lot smarter. She does some really cool stuff, but she's not complete. So I guess I gotta wait till this fall for all that stuff to be done. My biggest thing is the real estate. Like, it's a much larger phone, and it fits in my hand so much better. Like that other phone, I don't know how I lived with it for that long. Because I'm being cheap. Because you told me to get a 12 Pro Max, and I was like, nah, I don't need all that phone. It's too big. But I'll just save my money. But yeah, now I have it in my hand. Like, this is it right here, right? So I got the Goku case for it or whatever. I saw it on Facebook. I was like, you know what? I like that. I'm in the mood for some Dragon Ball Z stuff. But yeah, it's like perfect. Fits perfectly in my hand. Like, watching stuff on it, playing games. Like I never play mobile games. The only game I have is Balatro, so I play a card game on it. That I played on the PS5. Now I have it on the phone as well. Because Apple Arcade was free, in quotation marks, right? I pay for the Apple whatever service, and I like it. Like, and it has more buttons. So I went from having almost no buttons to now I have all types of buttons. I got like instead of a switch, it's got an activity button. It's got the phone camera button on it. So I'm just like, so Apple's doing the opposite of what they're like before. They were minimalizing, now they're more buttons. It's and I guess it's in fashion. So I like it.
Well, it's because you had to navigate so many menus to get to stuff. Like they were just like, okay, we got to stop doing that because Android is like that all the time. Like, hey, make this do what it needs to do, right? Customization is kind of their thing, right? Apple was like, this is what you can do. This is how you need to do it. Deal with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're Apple. Yeah, there it is. We're Apple. You know what I mean? No, so I have a 12 Pro Max, and like mine has been a lemon from the beginning. I'm being assured. You've told me this. A coworker's told me this. Like my phone doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like I think you got a lemon. I'm like, maybe I did, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm still waiting to see what's going to come up to 16. So I'm gonna let you get some more time under your belt before I'm like, all right, let me see what's going on here. Because when all of a
In
sudden,
the island. So you probably had the island. I never had the island, like the black thing. Like for my phone, that's where the camera and the speaker was for phone calls. But now it's interactive. So I was like, I completely missed that. That upgrade happened like several generations ago. But it expands and it shows stuff in it, like from doing multitasking and show what other tasks are being done in the. I was like, that's so cool.
yeah, but that wasn't until the 14. Like I'm on a 12.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that wasn't until the 14. Mine still has the cutout. You know what I mean? So
I was
the
like, all right.
haircut from the commercials, right?
Yeah.
How you know somebody is an Apple guy.
Yeah, so far so good. I like it. Obviously, I can't wait for Apple Intelligence to be better built, right? Because they're doling out piece by piece on like I think I've gotten a couple new features since I've gotten it a week ago. So like I guess every several couple. Like I don't think those words go together like that. Every couple of days to maybe every week or so, we get upgrades or updates. So
The Apple Intelligence is really supposed to be taking advantage when 18.1 drops, right? iOS 18.1, and that's supposed to be here very shortly, if not already now.
yeah.
It was rumored to be the 20th of October, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see
So
when
I
that
think I have
comes.
it, but I'm also in the beta, so it's confusing. Like I get stuff before, right? Like a couple days before, or a week before, or whatever. So like I had the 18 or whatever on my 12, which really did nothing because it's not built right. I was just like, why'd you even allow me to be in the beta? But also, like, I'm disappointed. I found out that my iPad, I've just a regular iPad, that I use for work, won't be getting Apple Intelligence. It's only the Air and the Pro models. So you have to have an M1 chip or higher. So I do a lot of stuff on my iPad, so I was really hoping for it, but man,
More expensive models. That's what it's going to do.
yeah, I'm not upgrading because it does everything I need to do. So I'm like, if you ain't doing it now, then I won't find out until this one's on its last leg. And iPads last forever, so we'll see when I upgrade that. And then I also got a work computer, so I got a new PC for work. So I just got that, and I've been playing around with it. It's kind of a beast, like way more beastly than anything I've had before. But I wanted to kind of not necessarily future proof it, but I wanted it to do everything I wanted to do off the rip. I didn't want to say, okay, I got now Black Friday I'm gonna upgrade. Now Christmas I'm gonna ask for, a part. I was like, let me just get everything now, and then in a couple years I can start to as necessary. But it's so far so good. Like I just hooked it up. I gave the kids the rules. Like this is my work computer. Do not look at it for too long. Don't make eye contact with it. It's for me to do work. This is a RAM cyber asset. All right. So I got that now. And then TV wise, I keep saying I'm going to watch the new Bad Boys. It's on Netflix. I have not watched it yet, but the plan is to watch it sometime soon.
Is it on Netflix? See, I don't get to Netflix often enough. I need to just to justify what I'm paying Verizon for them to give it to me. Is it
Right.
Verizon? I think it's Verizon. Yeah.
So for me, it was T-Mobile. T-Mobile was paying for my Netflix.
Or no, no. My Disney bundle is Verizon. So Netflix, I had to pay for again when I left T-Mobile.
Mm.
Yeah. My wife was like, "No, the children watch Netflix." I'm like, "Oh gosh, okay." I was like, "I don't." So
Right. Yeah, cut that off. And then the Bills play today, so we're playing the Titans, the 1-4 Titans. So you better win. That's all I have to say. 1-4 Titans versus the 4-2 Buffalo Bills at Highmark Stadium. So
So we're playing Tampa at Tampa, actually, down there by you.
are you?
Yeah, it's Monday night game though. One of the Monday night games, and I'm worried, right? Because our secondary has been terrible, and I'm like, oh, please don't let Baker throw for 500 yards on us and lose that game.
I think y'all be all right, man. Y'all are stomping cats.
Yeah, because we can run on him, right? But like his passing game, I want to say he leads the league in passing yards, maybe.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like I'm just like y'all were trash until Brady, and now you're still okay. How is this? Because you saw what happened to the Patriots. Pats are done. So I'm very surprised the Bucks are playing as well as they're playing.
Yeah, the Pats are definitely rebuilding, but yeah, Monday night we'll see. But I don't know. I'm hoping we pull out the victory, but I have a feeling our secondary's gonna get torched. So Godwin and Evans, if anybody got them in their fantasy leagues, you might want to throw them out there. You might want to throw them out there, but yeah.
Yeah, and I hope to get a game in. So I got so when you usually when you buy a PC, like the graphics card, the GPU comes with some kind of bundle. Of like, okay, you get these games, it's showcase games, right? So it came with Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. And I've seen video of it, and I'm just like, that is right up my alley. It looks like so I'm not big into Warhammer 40K. It's got a big following. Um, but it looks like Gears of War. So come to find out, it's the opposite. So Gears of War was inspired by Warhammer 40K. So you a big hulking space marine dude running through legions of aliens and stuff, and there's no roadie run cover system, but it's your big hulked out dude just mowing down aliens and doing glory kills, right? Like it's and your sword is a chainsaw, which what's in Gears of War? It's the Lancer is a chainsaw, right? So I'm just like, I've been fiending for a Gears of War game for some time now. So now I get to see its, I guess what it be, progenitor or whatever, like what inspired Gears, and it's been rating real high, but it says it's also very taxing on computers because there's so much happening. Like it's very pretty. It's got a lot of ray tracing and critters running around. So I'm gonna see how this PC handles it. Like I said, it's pretty beefy setup because one, I do a lot of editing and things of that nature, and the laptop I've been using has been dying. It's been slowing me down so much. But two, again, I wanted to try to future proof it or whatever. So it's got a Ryzen 7 7800, I want to say. I forget what the numbers are. And then the GPU is a 4070 Super. So it's the best GPU I've ever had. So I can't wait to see how it does against these games. But that's my off duty. All right. So on duty, like my 9 to 5, I'm using it for work. My 9 to 5 and my small business, I'm using it for work. And then that small sliver of time I get to relax, I'm gonna be playing Space Marine. So that is the.
Did you ever finish up the one that was like the Super Troopers one? Or not Super Troopers, Starship Troopers? What game was that? Helldivers.
Live service game. So Helldivers doesn't have a campaign. Like you're continuously playing through different. I don't even know what to call it.
Like waves, like different.
Yeah, like things are happening, right? Like if you go to this planet and defend it, you go to this planet and defend it, but it's perpetual. It's always something happening. So I still jump on it from time to time. It's always a fun time. It's not as big as it was, right? Like all these games as a service, live service games, they all peter at some point and they have like this fan base that just continues or whatever. It's never a bad time. It's always fun. Whether you win or lose, you're just like, okay, I had a fun time. So I still do play that, but it's like maybe once a week I'll hop on and play a little bit. But I'm just not a big live service dude. Like I just want to play through your campaign, beat you, and move on to the next thing. So that's why I'm excited about this. Because it has multiplayer too. I'm not interested in that. And like I want that campaign. I want to run around and kill aliens. That's what I want to do. I'll shoot you a video. You might be interested in it. It's on consoles as well. But doesn't. A lot of people aren't talking about it because you have to know about it, kind of. And the only reason I heard about it was because of how graphics heavy it is. Right. That's my thing. So I was like,
Did
okay,
like
I'll check it out.
I did like Gears, so like if this
Yeah,
is if this is
very
the
Gears
original,
like, or I should say, Gears is very Warhammer 40K like. And they have either a movie or a TV show or something coming out too. So I'm kind of interested in that because I've been waiting for a Gears movie forever. Like that should just write itself. So if 40K gets some kind of movie or TV show or whatever, I'm definitely gonna jump on that because I kind of like what I've seen so far.
unless it's Amazon and they do the Halo treatment, then you're gonna be like, nah, I'm good.
Man, so God of War just got scrapped again. So God of War it's going to be well, no, so I'm down for it. Like make it good. So they fired the writers room. So they're rebooting the writers room. So that's from scratch to me. Like you fired the writers, like something wasn't right. So I'm glad because that Halo TV show was trash. And that was it Paramount?
That was Amazon. Was it Paramount or was it Amazon?
Yes, Paramount. No, it
My
was
list.
yeah. Because Amazon did no, Amazon did. So far the best has been HBO. HBO did a great job with
Last of
The
Us.
Last of Us. So that's what it was. So Amazon is Fallout, which they did an amazing job. Like that was really good. I know it's not really your thing, but if you ever do check it out like that,
I did.
I give that one 2 thumbs up.
I did.
But you
I
didn't make
did.
it that far, right? You didn't. You wasn't
No,
feeling it.
I think I finished that one. That's the one where they were in the bunkers, right?
Yeah, you
Blue
finished
and
it.
yellow. I did. I did. I didn't like the ending as much, but
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
It fell apart right there.
yeah. But no, I
But
watched it.
yeah, I believe it's Amazon. Amazon is going to do a God of War, but something wasn't right. I'm down for that. Like keep scrapping until you get it right because that Halo was trash. I'm sorry. I got no people like I'll give it a chance. I did. I did give it a chance. I watched the whole first season and I got halfway through the second season. I was like, nope, no, no, thank you. And then it got canceled. Why? Because it was no good. That's why. So yeah, scrap it. And the same thing happened to Horizon. I believe Horizon was Netflix, but it's been scrapped and look for a new director. Like yeah, don't make it if it's not going to be good. Spare me. I played the game and that was great. Like if you can't make if it's not going to be on par with The Last of Us or Fallout, cancel it. I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to besmirch my eyeballs. So, but yeah, I'm watching an anime called Dan Da Dan. We talked about that. I think it's on episode 3 or 4. So I'm still watching that one. Animation is still super pretty. It's kind of cheesy, right? But it's anime. So I'm just here for the amazing animation. And it has it in spades. They're doing a really good job with it.
You sent me the trailer for Invincible, man. I was just like, oh, I like Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, oh, but I can't wait till February, man. That's a long
yeah,
time away. But it was a good trailer because it made fun of itself, like how it had that break and whatnot. And I don't remember
yeah.
it being like 4 months, but they allude to it as they're talking. Like you took a break for like 4 months, Mark. You know what I mean? I'm like, was it that long? Was it really that long? That was a long time.
It was pretty long. Yeah, yeah. So they said no more, no break, and they should turn them out faster. Is what they're saying. So I'm like, I'm down for that because I try not to get too into its lore. I don't want anything spoiled for me, right? I just want to watch it as it's taking place. But I've seen some screen captions of the comic, and I'm just like, oh, it's about to go some places. So I'm very excited. I don't know what they can. Some stuff I've seen or is alluded to. I'm like, I don't know if they can put that on even a streaming service
It's a streaming service, man. Like it's not regular cable, right? Like they do whatever they want.
because it's already been crazy. So I'm just like, oh, if they go there, I just don't know. I don't know if they can get away with it, but they did in The Boys. Like The Boys had some stuff. I'm just like, yo, I don't even know how you get away with this. And
They,
I, yeah,
they just have to rate it appropriately, right?
right.
Like
And they have a
they have,
disclaimer.
yeah, like mature. I don't. Do they have higher than mature on those streaming services? Like, do they do NC-17 or whatever?
I don't think so, but they do describe like there's a couple episodes of The Boys where the description at the beginning is like this is what's going to be in here. So if you want to proceed, this is what you're going to see.
Here's your warning.
So Yeah, so you might be right. So I'm very interested. I'm excited about that because like yeah, that last season was real good.
It was, but like I didn't realize it ended where it ended. Like I didn't think that was the ending. Like when that
Me neither.
episode aired,
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, this next one's gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be great. And they were like, no, that's the season end. I was like, what? What are you doing?
it's a sign of a good show though. It's a sign of a
Yeah,
good show.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, so the last thing is Agatha. It's Agatha all along. I've watched a couple episodes. I'm waiting for it to get a little bit further into it. Not really doing it for me. But what's weird is I'm starting to see the unrealness of it. So Unreal Engine has it where they do these backdrops that are very interactive, and the actors are basically playing against a screen. And this is the first time I've seen a show where I can picture it. Like I didn't see any behind the scenes. I didn't see anything, but I can tell that the imagery in front of them or behind them sometimes is not real. And it's not that it looks overly fake. It's just that they're not interacting with it a lot. Like they're only interacting with the foreground or they're only interacting with the background. So I'm starting to see kind of through the cracks. I'm just like, that's not real. And it's somewhat distracting to me. I'm not gonna lie, like, because now I'm like more interested in the tech than I am of the show, which I don't know. It's just not capturing me. It's not to say it's bad. It's just I've only watched 2 episodes, so you know how these things only ramp up to like episode 4 is when you get to like the cliffhanger or whatever. So I haven't gotten that far yet. So far I'm kind of meh on it, but it could take off. I don't know. But it starts off. It does one of those things where it starts off where it's kind of like this is about to be good, and then it kind of takes a step back. And I'm just like, oh,
I 100% know what you're saying. Like
yeah,
I feel like it's happening to me all the time. Like you got me in, you brought me in, you suckered me,
yeah,
and I'm like, all right, I gotta keep watching if I gotta see this payoff, and then it doesn't, and I'm like, oh, like
yeah.
it eventually gets to that point where it's like I've invested the time at this point. You know what I mean? So,
Right. So that's why I'm gonna hang back because I want to marathon if I'm gonna do it. Because like right now, like I said, I'm watching it one episode at a time. I watched the first two. I'm just like man on it. So I wanted to get a little bit further in, and I can try to marathon and see if it's worth my time or what have you. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's just again like I'm a little distracted. The same thing happened in one of the because during the COVID times when they started really using it, there was a murder mystery, Murder on the Orient. I want to say it's one of those parole murder mystery movies,
yeah.
and I like those movies, but they couldn't do it on location because of COVID, and there's a lot of weird backdrops where you're just like, that's not real, and you just it takes you out of it. And it's not because I respect CGI, I respect the tech and stuff like that, but sometimes they don't do a good job of masking it. You're just like,
Was that the one on the Nile?
yes,
On
Murder
the
on the Nile,
Nile, yeah,
yeah,
that
because
one
it's,
did
it's
look a
Orient
little,
Express, Murder on Orient
yeah,
Express, Murder on the
yeah,
Nile, yes, yeah.
yeah. The Nile one did look funny. Like I didn't even
Yeah,
finish it.
I can
I
tell
was
you're
like,
standing on a fake boat
yeah,
with a green screen behind you.
yeah,
Like it just doesn't. There's some uncanny weirdness happening.
yeah.
So the same thing's happening with Agatha for me. I'm just like, you're not really there. Like this, you put a little mound right there so you can interact with that. But I was like, that foreground and background, that ain't real. But they used it in the Last of Us, and I never peeped it. So I think it's just a way it can be done very well. And then you'll see the behind the scenes. But oh, yeah, that was even real. But then in this, like, I can tell, like, nah, that's not real. But still cool. Nah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. Like, even though we had the storm and whatnot, I still had a pretty action-packed couple of weeks. So hopefully, this upcoming week I have a panel I'm on for women defense down in Tampa. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be there with some really cool panelists. Courtney Jackson from Paragon's going to be on the panel. Another lady, her last name escapes me, but her first name is Jatara. She does a lot of really cool stuff within the community as well. And I'm just excited. This will be my first government type thing, right? That I'm going to be doing, and I'm just intrigued about the audience, right? Like women in defense. Like again, like our platform, we definitely champion women in cyber, people of color in cyber, the neurodivergent things of that nature, right? So it's cool to be invited to something like that. So and it's during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I bought a pink shirt and a pink polo. I gotta see which one I'm gonna be rocking. I'm gonna get the beard shaped up and then head down there this upcoming week, and hopefully make some good contacts and have some really good discussions.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'm excited. Like I want to do one of these at least once a year. So I keep speaking it out, and it keeps happening. So I'm like, okay, this is my once a year. I said I wanted to do it, and then boom, it popped up. So I'm definitely down for it. I've done some virtual ones, but I have to do at least one in-person event a year, right? I can't be a shut-in. So this is my own event. So I'm excited. But yeah, man, that's it for me. Definitely hit us up throughout the rest of the week, right? Again, Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion. I am recording an Ask Us SP this week, so there won't be one for this week, right? Because you'll see it next week, probably, unless I turn around real fast. But we'll see. I got a new PC. We'll see how that works out, right? But expect to see it within the next 2 weeks. And then Fridays, of course, are everything else. So if you like what you're hearing, movies, books, games, all that good stuff, definitely check these out as well. And then big news coming for November. So definitely continue to tune in for that one. I won't spoil it yet, but I think our current loyal fan base and the new people who've been flowing in will definitely like what they hear. Hit us up by all the social medias that go by our name, The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on all the social media platforms, but I'm most active on LinkedIn. You cannot find Shannon anywhere, so please send me your comments and I will pass them along. And then hit up Daniel and Chris at their social medias as well. And this is a proud product of Ram Cyber, so check out ramcyber.io. It's not much happening there yet, but that is going to be the future landing page for all of our stuff. Yeah, stay safe, stay secure.